I can't believe I'm saying this, my second channel. Yes and no. This one's a good one. Freya loves the snow. She cannot catch. I'm really freaking excited about it. But allow me to reintroduce myself. Hey y'all, and welcome to, I can't believe I'm saying this, my second channel. This is really freaking exciting because I haven't started a new YouTube channel in like almost 10 years, but here we are and I'm really freaking excited about it. You're probably in two different categories. One being you recognize me or my dog Freya and you're like, oh my gosh, where do I know you from? But this isn't the channel that I watch you from. Or you've never seen me or my dog Freya before ever. You're brand new to this channel and me in general. Both are awesome. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and hanging out with me for a little bit. But allow me to reintroduce myself. I am Marissa Nicole and I have another YouTube channel called Marissa Nicole. And last year in March of 2020, I ended up getting an 8-week-old Australian Shepherd puppy. And since then I've been taking you guys on the journey of how that has been going, her monthly pup dates, like hauls that I've been buying, training videos, the whole 9 yards. However, that was kind of like taking over on my channel that I've had for, you know, almost 10 years. So I decided it was time that I probably just like split them off. I go into a little bit more detail why I decided to do this on my other channel if you like want to go and watch that video. But essentially I just want to bring more content to the folks that want like my content on my channel and bring more content to the folks that want Freya and dog content on this channel. That's what this one's gonna be for. Freya the Floof. We're gonna be posting just dog videos, dog vlogs, pup dates, training videos, Q&As like this one, trying dog products, you know, hacks, tips, what, like literally you name it, anything that you could think of for your dog, that'll be on this channel. So I'm really freaking excited that this is the first video on this channel. So make sure you subscribe down below if you're coming from Marissa Nicole or if you're new here, because there will be a ton of content that I do not want you guys to miss. I'm really freaking excited about it. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say that in this video, but I'm really freaking excited. Also, my cup, because I'm sure I'm gonna get questions about it, is from Etsy. I will link it down below. It has like dog mom on it, little paw prints, and on the back it says my name. I think it's really cute. And I'm just drinking a nice coffee out of it that I made at home. But for today's video, I thought we would kick things off with like a Q&A, because I remember when I started my channel, I did a little like 10 facts about me or 20 facts about me, get to know me kind of thing. Because back then that was, you know, the trend, the whole like get to know me tag. So instead of a little like 10 facts about Freya kind of thing, because she's a dog, I just opened it up on my Instagram for y'all to ask questions about Freya that we would do for this first video of like a get to know Freya kind of thing. So we're just gonna go through all of these questions. However, I do plan on doing like a monthly Q&A to help you guys as much as possible, because on my last channel every month I would do a monthly pup date with a Q&A involved in it, and I'd be like helping you guys with training tips or literally whatever. So kind of taking that into this channel, I think we're still gonna do like pup dates, vlog style though, and then do monthly Q&As that I can like really dive deep into the Q&As, because when I'm doing the vlog I can't get to as many questions. But I would definitely recommend following Freya the Floof on Instagram, because that's where I'm gonna be doing the Q&As, like question polls on my stories, if you want to be a part of these every month. So let's kick it off. I have a ton of questions that we're gonna go through. There is no rhyme or reason to these. They're not in any particular order, so we might jump around a little bit. But the first one asks, were you nervous to send her to daycare? Because if you didn't know, Freya does go to daycare. That's where she's at right now, because I do have to go to work here soon for like 8 hours, so I don't like her to be home alone for like 8 hours when she could just go play with other doggos and have a great time. So she's at daycare today, and I was definitely nervous to send her, but it was more of like those mom jitters. Like I cried when we dropped her off on the drive home, because I was like, I want her back with me. Like it was definitely a mixed emotion kind of thing, but I was nervous on the side that like I wanted her to have a good time and I didn't want anything to happen, you know, that could like traumatize her, which you do run the risk of doing that going to doggy daycare. But we took her as soon as she got all of her vaccines, so that way she could really have some like one-on-one socialization with other dogs and other kinds of dogs, with people that we trust and know, because we know these folks at the daycare that we take her to. So I trust her in their hands and taking her out of situations that she shouldn't be in, and kind of doing that really slowly, versus like if you do take your dog to like a random daycare, they're probably just gonna get thrown in kind of thing and just like bloop, have fun. Because we know the folks at this daycare that we take her, they were really good with her and made sure that she was like safe 100%. And I wasn't really nervous, I was more sad to take her. How is her catching ability? If you have not seen this video, please enjoy.
Ready? Oh!
She cannot catch. She can catch treats, I would say like 80% of the time. Like if it's like a good like toss right in front of her, she'll catch them. But like balls, frisbees, anything like that, like she has a really hard time catching them. We need to practice a lot more. Like she goes for it every time, she just can't physically catch it. I have hope for her. Does she have a favorite game? Like fetch or sniff out treats, hide and seek? Her favorite thing to do with like us is tug. She loves to play tug of war. She'll just like hand you the tiniest toy. Like she ripped an ear off of a little toy. She'll like have it hanging out and try to hand it to you, and if I like grab it, she'll like start playing tug with it. I'm like, I cannot play tug with this tiny ear, girl. Like, bring me a rope, bring me something bigger kind of thing. But she loves to play tug. Will we be professionally training her? I would absolutely love to. Yes, I have already narrowed down where we want to take her. It's just a matter of waiting until positions or like, you know, spots open up for us to take her, which I would love to document on this channel too, of like how that's going, because everything that Freya knows up to this point, I taught her. But there are a few things that I would love to get like professionally trained or like checked on, even taking her to like agility classes and like little things like that. I would absolutely love to do, and if we do that, would 100% be, you know, documented on this channel. What food do we feed Freya? So Freya gets fed Signature branded food, and she gets the limited ingredient, and you can kind of switch between any of those, but right now she's on the salmon and trout flavor food, which she loves. But honestly, she's so food motivated that she will eat actually anything you put in front of her face. But we wanted to make sure that she's eating at least a better kibble with, of course, some like toppings or raw food intertwined with it as snacks and stuff like that, to kind of like balance her out, is what we're working on right now, just because we actually cannot afford to do a fully raw diet. But we try to throw as much in there as possible on top of her kibble and, you know, substitute certain things and make it as good as possible. How old was she when she completed her vaccinations and was free to go out? She was about 4 months, like 4 months and like a week or two, because technically the last shot they get, they have to wait a week after that. So even when she got all of her shots, we had to wait an extra week before she could like go play with other dogs and like walk around on the ground and everything like that. And that's basically when we waited to take her to doggy daycare. So if you're staying on like a vaccination schedule, it's usually around about 4 months if you get them at 8 weeks. Did she ever get sick during her first year? She actually did. She got kennel cough when she was little. I'm assuming it came from, you know, doggy daycare, and that's a risk, but she was vaccinated for it. It wasn't terrible. It was so sad to hear. Like, I hated hearing her cough, but I immediately took her to the vet like the next day, and we got some antibiotics in her, and it only really lasted like a week. But I do have a whole video on that on my other channel. I'll link it though if you guys want to watch like how that all played out. But that's really the only thing that she has had as far as like being sick, is just kennel cough. How long did it take Freya to potty train, crate train, and learn certain tricks? So moving backwards, as far as like learning tricks, she can learn a new trick in a day. Even at 8 weeks old, like she was sitting by day 2. She's really smart. It's part of her breed. She's also just very food motivated, as I already said. So like training her with treats is like super easy. Like she catches on so quickly. Crate training, I feel like took about a month to like really dial in, but she was already like okay with it by like the second week kind of thing. But we worked on that literally every single day, multiple times a day. Like we had her on a good schedule, blah, 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 blah. So I would say like a month in total of being very like consistent and strict with it, was she like completely comfortable, and like I didn't worry about it. But probably around week 2 she was fine. I still just didn't like leave her in there for too long. And then potty training, kind of on the same token, it really only took her like 2 weeks to be potty trained. We specifically bell trained her, so she rings bells whenever she needs to go potty. That took about like a month to completely like connect for her. By day 3 though, she was ringing the bells on her own, but more so as a command. Like I would say, let's go potty, and she'd run up and ring the bell. So she knew that like those words meant ring the bells. But for her to connect that like those words mean ring the bells because she has to go potty and let's go outside and go potty, that took a little bit longer to kind of like connect in her brain. So she caught on really, really quickly, pretty much with everything. But that's because we were consistent and I worked from home. So I was with her 24/7 and could completely like watch her all the time. And I'm very grateful for that, because I know that had a big thing to do with it. How well does Freya adapt to change? Do you phase in change for schedules or trips? Honestly, not really. I was worried about that because I've heard that like Aussies don't do well with change sometimes, or like moving and you know, that kind of thing. But even us moving into this apartment, she was completely fine with. I brought her here about 3 times before we moved in, before we brought all of our stuff in. So maybe that helped a little bit. But even if I go on a trip and like my parents watch her or something, we really don't prep for that. We just kind of like drop her off, because she's been around them a lot. So she's not really like weary of them. Like she's happy to be there, so excited, and really just goes with the flow, which I'm also grateful for. Like she really doesn't seem to have much like separation anxiety, which we worked a ton on. So I'm glad. But like when we're gone, she's the same dog as when we are there, and we really don't have to like phase it in. How does Freya react to different weather, like rain or even snow? Freya loves the snow. She will go out there and play in it all day if I let her. She wants to eat it all the time. Like she'll just run around and like chomp, 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 like a whole line of snow as she's eating it when she runs. If I like throw snowballs at her, she's catching them. Like it's the cutest thing in the whole wide world. And the same pretty much goes for rain. But again, we worked at it. A lot of times dogs are scared of rain or snow because you as the owner exude energy that doesn't like the rain or snow, and they're gonna mimic that after you. So if you're out in the snow, like it doesn't matter, like they don't care either. And so we really worked on that. Like as a puppy, I was taking her to the dog parks every time it rained, and we would just play in the rain. And so she loves the rain. She doesn't care about going potty in the rain. She doesn't care about being in the rain. She doesn't care about the mud. She doesn't care about the snow. All around, she like is good with pretty much anything. Does Freya like swimming? Yes, she does. However, I've never taken her in the pool specifically, but I've taken her to a a couple like creeks or like lakes and stuff like that, and she'll definitely like jump in and like swim around a little bit. She doesn't like go out too far, like she's not just like swimming, but she'll like play in the water and like run through the water kind of thing to like play with dogs and chase dogs and stuff like that. She really just wants to run through it, but she likes the water and she'll jump in if she's playing. Show me Freya's favorite snuffle mat. This one's a good one. This snuffle mat she got from Enjoya. They actually sent it to her as like a Christmas present. Like she got her own PR package, which blew my mind, but it's honestly the best snuffle mat like I've ever used, and she has been eating out of a snuffle mat since 8 weeks old because mental enrichment is key for working dogs and working breeds. So she always eats out of a snuffle mat, or she'll eat out of like a slow feeder or from my hand or if we're doing training and stuff like that, but she doesn't eat out of food bowl. And so this snuffle mat is freaking amazing. A couple of you guys have even gotten one after like I posted about it and showed you guys how we use it kind of thing, and y'all say you love it. I will link it down below because it's that amazing. And they actually gave Freya her own little discount code. Like, I don't know, that's so freaking cute to me. So you guys can use code Freya12 for 12% off of that snuffle mat, which I think is worth it. It's super cute. It's freaking huge. So many places to like sniff and, you know, get stuff out of. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Does Freya still sleep in the crate? Yes and no. Basically, she does, just so we can hold on to like crate training, because when she does stay with like my parents or someone else, like she will sleep in a crate, but we do have her sleep in the crate maybe like once or twice a week just to maintain the consistency of, you know, the crate is still a place that you have to sleep, but she does sleep out of her crate now because she's over a year old. She's not a puppy anymore. And I for sure love snuggling with her. Like I was waiting for the day that this would happen, but we really wanted to solidify crate training before we allowed her to like sleep out of it. And so once we reached that point, we started, you know, letting her sleep out of it maybe 1 time a week, and now we're at 2, and then we're at 3. And so now she does a little bit of both just so we can maintain the crate training still, even though she could sleep out of it every single night and be completely fine. We didn't get her first birthday vlog. Can you share some videos or pictures from her birthday? You will be getting her 1-year pup date Thursday of this week. So make sure you're subscribed. You can turn on your post notifications if you want to know when it's up. But I'm so excited for y'all to see it because it is long overdue. Freya turned a year old on January 3rd. I was just taking a really long break on YouTube and stuff, so it didn't get posted until this week. Are there days you wish you could just relax, but having a busy dog doesn't allow you to? 100%. Literally yes, all the time. And that's why like getting a puppy and getting a dog isn't just a, you know, a puppy commitment. It is a 15-year long, at minimum, commitment. And that decision should not be made lightly. And it definitely wasn't. Like for me, I 100% knew that I was going to have this dog for the rest of her life. But of course, like I'd be lying if I said that, you know, sometimes I'm like, dang, Freya, I just want to chill. But I brought her into my household and I have a responsibility to make sure that she lives her best life every single day and all of her needs are met every single day. And she is a working breed, so she needs mental enrichment and physical exercise every single day. And so it's my job to provide that to her. Now, are there days that yes, we just have a completely lazy day? Of course. If it's like downpouring all day, we might not go out that day. But I really try to do stuff inside the house to like mentally enrich her if we can't do a lot of the physical exercise or vice versa. But yeah, there's definitely days and I'm like, whew, I wish I didn't have a dog because I want to lay in bed all day and do absolutely nothing. It is what it is. How do you deal with her energy living in an apartment? This is honestly a really good question for like, I could go on an entire video on like how we do this, so I might save this one. Do you regret getting an Australian Shepherd? If you get another dog, would you get a different breed? I definitely don't regret getting an Aussie because I don't regret Freya. Like she is absolutely amazing. However, she is like my first dog. Of course, I, you know, grew up with dogs or like, you know, adult dogs throughout my childhood, never a puppy. Like we never had a puppy in the house. So this was my first puppy, this was my first dog, and it was definitely challenging to start out with such like a smart and working breed kind of thing. No wonder like a lot of people just get like golden retrievers or like, I don't know, not to say that they don't need exercise either, but like a low energy dog for your first dog to like kind of like ease yourself into it. So I definitely kind of just like jumped in head first. I don't regret it at all. And I definitely have the plan of when I'm ready to get another dog, I want to get another Australian Shepherd. However, I would be open to other breeds, of course, but I feel like I would also want another high-ish energy dog to keep up with Freya. Like it would be awful to get like a high energy dog and then the most laziest dog ever because we could never do anything together. So I would want either it to be an also high energy dog or like, you know, medium, something, so that way they can play together, they can run together, they can go on hikes together, like we can do things as a little family because they're both built to do those things, if that makes sense. What is Freya's favorite toy or a toy she couldn't live without? What first comes to mind, I don't know if it was like a toy, but one thing that she most definitely could not live without because she has like 6 of them is a bone. She freaking loves her bone. We have them everywhere and she absolutely loves them. She'll just sit there and chew them forever. She's definitely more of a bone gal than a toy gal. And then the last question that I'll answer today, just because there's so much that's gonna happen on this channel and I don't want to go too deep into anything because I'm just pumped. So last one for today. Do you have any tips when you get overwhelmed when raising a dog? This is another great question that I could go and do a whole video on, but my number one tip would be to remove yourself if possible. Especially if you have like a partner and you feel yourself just getting so angry, call them in. Be like, hey, I need you to take over. Like, I know it's my hour or it's my whatever. I just need to take like 10 minutes and like, I can't do this right now. That is honestly the best option because, you know, displacing your anger or frustration onto the dog is not ideal, should not happen, and does not happen with me. I remove myself. And I would never use a crate as punishment. However, she had like a playpen and I wouldn't use it as a punishment because that's the thing is I would remove myself before I ever got to the point where she would think I'm punishing her, if that makes sense. So when I can feel myself like, oh, this is too much, like I would take her in her favorite toy or like a Kong or a bone or whatever and put her in her playpen and like set her up just to like play and like do stuff by herself real quick while I go and like decompress for 5 minutes. But I don't do that when it's like too late. I'm not doing that after I've already yelled at her and done all these weird things and then put her in the playpen because that is 100% a punishment. But I do it before that happens. That way it's not a punishment in her eyes. It's more of like a, I'm gonna snap in about 15 minutes. So let's not wait till 15 minutes. Just do it now. I don't know if that makes sense, but I could definitely go into a whole video on things that helped me and like how I worked through that because it happened all the time. But that was one of the bigger things for me. It was just like, I need to walk away. I hope you guys are really excited about this channel. Like I'm freaking pumped about it. Mainly just to bring more content on both fronts because if my upload schedule was 3 times a week, then I have to like split between like my content and Freya content. But now I can give you all the content on both channels and just upload, they can upload on the same days because it's 2 different channels. So make sure you subscribe to this channel down below, follow Freya on Instagram, and let me know in the comments down below, like, I don't know, what do you want to see? Give me some video ideas. What kind of stuff do you want to see on this channel? I know this isn't my channel, but I'm gonna say what I normally say on my channel. So I love you guys so much, more than you will ever know, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!